The clock is truly running out. This will be one of my most important messages year to date.
I ain't gonna give in now, I just gotta live this now. I ain't gonna be man, I'ma kill this stuff real quick. I'ma go take it to town, cause I gotta be that king in the ring when I'm knocking them out when I'm back with the whip. Cause I am just up on the journey, just know that I'm just going insane.
Warriors, rise. Grand rising. Good evening, warriors all over the world. If you're new to the channel, I want to introduce myself. If you've been with me for a long time, I want to say thank you. And from my family to yours, I love you. My name is Coach JB. I am the top health, mindset, crypto, and business coach in the world. Remember, what you believe in your heart, you think in your mind, will eventually become your words and become your reality. If you can see it in your mind, eventually you can hold it right here in your hands. What you repeatedly do gets ingrained in your subconscious mind. What gets ingrained in your subconscious mind becomes an unconscious activity. And today I'm going to show you exactly where the U.S. sits in the U.S. debt clock, the recession that is coming, that is going to change the infrastructure of our financial system, of the American dream. And many people who have worked their whole lives, their lives are going to be turned upside down. But I want to share something with you from my heart to yours, that I'm not here to get anybody to believe anything. All I've been doing for the last 3 years on my channel is sharing my own awakening and my own truth. I've never told people to pick left, right, up, down, whatever it is. I've just literally documented my journey through a massive awakening and understanding that God, my higher self, consciousness, was not found inside of a building made by hands. No, it is found in the unseen. And what is happening right now is they're separating us dramatically. Left and right was created by left and right to get us to fight. This has been a battle of humanity from time to time to time, history and history, over and over again. In the Roman days, they had us drunk in the Colosseum. They were clipping our coins. Now here we are again in the Colosseum type days. Before Jesus was crucified, he was flipping over the money changers. So I want you to think about that for just a moment. I want you to think about that. So as I present this to you, I want to share with you, there is nothing outside of you that's coming to save you. You're already saved. You're already wealthy. You're already healthy. And I call the education system since the 1900s the disconnection system. The more they could disconnect us from our higher self, our higher consciousness, our vehicle to God, or whatever that represents for you, because I love you. I don't care if you're Catholic, Jehovah's Witness, Church of Latter-day Saints, non-denominational Christian, Buddha. I love Jesus and I love God. So if that makes me a Christian, awesome. I love God. I know God. I follow the principles of Jesus and Christ consciousness. And I love you for who you are. But I'm here to tell you, this is those moments and times in history. And I'm doing this video for a very, very specific reason. This is going to be time-stamped in reality. We are in one of those times where we are going through a massive awakening. Some people in the religious space call it the rapture. Some people in the spiritual hippie space call it the Great Awakening. Some people just don't know what the hell is going on, but they feel different. Well, yes, there's a massive change happening. The industrial area is dead. We're going into the technology area, quantum, Web 2.0 to Web 3.0, industrial to technical. The way you communicate is going to change. The deeper separation between self and God is going to become deeper. So warriors, I'm here to tell you, the man or woman have just forgotten who they are. And there is no enemy. There is nobody stopping you. And I hope that my story and my truth and my walk in faith has shown you, going from my mom's couch 3 years ago to where I'm at today, financial freedom and building companies all over the world, that it's possible for you. I broke free from the disconnection education system and started to educate myself. And I realized that God is not in a building made by hands. God is not in a building made by hands. God is where it is not made by hands. And once you can access that higher consciousness through love, high frequency, and understanding that a millionaire and a billionaire of you exist. But I'm here to tell you, time is running out. All right, so let's dive into it, warriors. This is coming from love, light, and positivity. So we're going to start with this quick video. from Fox News here, and then we're going to go into some really deep information to help you understand that this is the greatest time in human history. Let's dive into this.
Let's go to Mick Mulvaney on where this whole thing stands, because you have the political stuff, you have the economic stuff, you have the Federal Reserve now poised to increase rates 0.75 of a point. Probably from Mick's vantage point, that's the most crucial development this week. Of course, you know him very well, the former acting White House chief of staff, former OMB director. He knows his numbers, he knows his stuff. Whatever you might think of politics, and we always get on the left and right people shouting and screaming at each other. He is a very smart man when it comes to these type of issues. So, Mick, good to have you, and thank you for taking the time. I want to focus, if I can, on the Fed and your thinking, because right now the betting is we're going to see rates go up by another 0.75 of a point. A lot of people from Goldman to Morgan Stanley see maybe the overnight bank lending rate topping at or about the 5% level. And when you step back and you look at that, that's 5 full percentage points higher than we were a year ago. What do you make of that?
Yeah, and 12 points below where we were in the 1970s. So it's just a different kind of world right now. I just wondered, Neil, about how high they can raise the rates. Keep in mind, we're already borrowing money right now to pay the interest carry, right? So
okay, let's stop real quick. So he talked about we can't do the same thing as the 1970s. We were not buried in this type of debt in the 1970s. I'm going to show you how unbelievably screwed we are. Okay, really, 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 really important to understand. We need to borrow money to pay our interest for the money that our country borrowed.
Amount of interest we pay every single day comes out of additional debt, which means that our debt is going up so that we can pay the interest on the debt that we have. And we're printing that money to do it. So we go more into debt. We start this vicious cycle down. If the Fed raises the rates much more than they already have, the thing that pays the most interest is the federal government. So I think they're restricted really in how much they can raise the rates. And I actually think that's a good thing, because I'm not sure raising rates really solves.
Well, wait a minute. That's a fascinating point, that you think the Fed would be kind of, forced to reserve a little bit because of all that debt. And you're quite right. I mean, I think it's adding $180 to $200 billion a year just in the higher rate costs we're looking at now. So that even if inflation were a problem still, the Fed would slow down, maybe even stop?
Okay, so that's what I want you guys to hear, to understand, okay? So our government is in a really, really, really tough position that they put themselves in, okay? So since 1971, we detached from the gold standard. I repeat the same things over and over again, because what you repeatedly do gets ingrained in your subconscious mind. What gets ingrained in your subconscious mind becomes an unconscious activity. Now, here's our debt clock, okay? So since 1960s, we're at 52% debt to income ratio. As we stand today, we're at 121% debt to income ratio. So like he said, in the 1970s, we can't do the same thing we did in the 1970s, because look at our debt where we're at. In the 1980s, we were at 34% debt to income ratio. So we could borrow our way out of problems. We can no longer borrow our way out of the problem. The reason why there is a massive financial reset and the great global financial reset, and why everybody keeps calling it the great financial reset, is because we need a financial reset. So this is off of trading economics, the United States gross federal debt to GDP. This is how much gross domestic product we have versus our debt. As we currently sit, it's 137.2. Okay, so if we sold all the products and services in America, we couldn't even pay off our debt. So America couldn't even go into a car dealership and buy a car if you look at it from the context of us as human beings, right? So America's screwed. So we need a financial reset. Why do I think this is happening and why they're preparing for this is because of this type of stuff. Basel Committee reports on Basel III implementation progress. We reported this back to you guys, I think in 2020 and 2021. I think it was 2021 when we reported this to you guys. So Basel III goes active on January 1st, 2023. What is Basel III? So what they're doing as you're sitting there, waiting for stimulus checks and watching inflation go up and not being able to afford a house or afford gas, and as they're cutting us off the oil supply and your gas prices are going to go skyrocketing through the roof, you're not going to be able to survive and live. This is what's happening in the central banks. They are stacking gold. Why would they be stacking gold? They're getting ready for a monetary reset. Let me repeat that. They're getting ready for a massive monetary reset. And as I started this video, they went back to God's money, creation. They're They know something is coming. I'm telling you, there's a great awakening happening. It's not just physical. Okay, it's not just metaphysical in the mind. It is happening. There is a great reset coming. Noah, all these floods are coming. I don't mean like floods physically. It's a mental thing, guys. They fucked up. They went too far one way, left hemisphere of the brain. We're about to get wiped out and start all over, and they're going back to God's money. So the new regulation distinguishes between allocated and unallocated gold assets. This is what Basel III is. Gold in allocated accounts is held in custody bank vaults, but belongs to the bank's clients. Unallocated gold accounts reflects financial transactions linked to gold, including gold lending, swaps, futures, hedging for producers of refiners, as well as jewelers and other corporate users. Okay, this is this part I wanted to read, sorry. Under the new regulation, allocated gold will be considered tier 1 asset and will continue to have zero risk weighting. Conversely, banks' unallocated gold and exposure due to other financial transactions will be considered tier 3, subject to required stable RSF ratios of 85%. Listen to this, like other risky assets such as equities. Under the new rule, banks are required to hold physical gold, no more paper gold, okay, or other liquid assets for the amount equal to at least 85% of the value of the allocated gold on their books. So the banks, actual banks, commercial banks, have to go to physical gold. And at the same time, the central banks are stacking gold, which I've reported. Now, here's what we need to understand about the Great Financial Reset. How do banks make money? Okay, how do they make money? When you deposit money into the bank, okay, you put $100 into the bank. They only had to, the rules have changed. They have to hold less. They have to have zero. They hold 0% of your money. You're just a lender to the bank for them to make money. That's it. They hold your money, they lend it out. They hold your money, they lend it out. Every dollar in the system is debt. That's it. So when you put $100 into the bank, before they would put 10% into reserves, they would lend out 90 of your dollars. So I would take that to another bank. That bank would hold 10%, then they would lend out $81. And then it goes on and on and on and on and on. And that $100 is multiplied by nine times. The same amount of money is multiplied by 9 times, and they're getting money that's printed by the feds. It's literally a Ponzi scheme. If we were doing this, we would be screwed. Now look at this model. Okay, so if you're raising interest rates and inflation is going up and people are losing their jobs, is there going to be money from the consumer flowing into the bank? No. So how do you keep this casino going? Oh shit, right? So that's why their rich clients can trade Bitcoin and Ethereum. That's why the wealthy clients are getting access to trading platforms for cryptocurrency, not the working poor, not the middle class, not the people that are about to get wiped out because the education system is a disconnection system and disconnected them from God and made them think that they are not rich, they are not powerful, they are not amazing. They're not the great I am in their mind. They disconnected you from that. They built systems and processes to make you think that you had to work for money. So if the bank no longer can make money the same way they used to, and the government can't pay their debts anymore, and our debt to income ratio is so far pushed, you need a monetary reset. And what do they need? Liquidity. If there's not liquidity in the system doesn't continue. That's why I've always been so bullish on Ripple and XRP. That's why the SEC is suing Ripple, because it's the biggest threat to the system. That's why SEC sued Ripple, so they can get the new regulation for the new monetary system. That's what this is all about. It's all by design. Don't get played. They do settlements in seconds, not days. This is the solve that they need. Free up working capital, eliminate pre-funding. There's no pre-funding requirements. Money can move really, really, really fast so they can keep the casino going. We offer low-cost payments, so it's very cheap to send the money. So they're going to make a shitload more money because they're going to have the best marketing, and it's going to be about convenience, and you're going to start moving the money a lot faster. Enable payments faster. Real-time settlement speeds up delivery regardless of funding source's destination. So money is no longer dammed up in the system. Okay, they can move it much faster, lend it much faster. They can leverage themselves much faster, expand into new markets. 2.9 billion unbanked people in the world that they want their money in the system so they can have taxation. Good or bad and different, it's been like this forever. You're fighting against an invisible enemy. It's been like this forever. The only way to fix it is do things like Elon. Stop complaining about it, become one of the wealthiest person in the world, and buy Twitter. You can be an armchair quarterback all day. You can fight the system. You can become a Bitcoin maximus, an XRP maximus, a Ethereum maximus. You're fighting against an invisible enemy. And the more you fight, the more you're going to attract that. In turn, you can understand the system has always been rigged for everybody since humanity, right? They're in the Garden of Eden. Don't eat from that tree. Cain and Abel. Cain killed Abel in the perfect time in the world. Can't and Abel. Can't killed I am Abel. Here, Jesus was crucified on the skull of the cross. On the skull of the cross, the Jordan River is on the 33rd longitude on Earth. Your vertebrae has 33, spine has 33 vertebrae in the skull of the cross. He was raised 3 days later. Only certain people could see him that had the cross right here, the mark on their head, the pineal gland. And our education system is the disconnection system, has disconnected you from source. I'll leave it at that. So again, this is a passion project. This is my project that we created over a year in the making. X Royalty will be coming out. It is not a battle against anybody. It is a battle against consciousness. So down below, you can put your information in here. We will be releasing information very, very soon. This is a very, very serious project to me. It is about bringing humanity back together through love, high vibration, and frequency, and letting them know that they are the greatest of all time. I love you guys very, very much. Warriors, rise. Get your shit together. We'll see you soon.